This is my 1929 made, Izhvesk factory made, hexagon receiver, Mosin Nagant 9130. This is the Steyr Mannlicher model M1895 in the caliber of 8x50 R Mannlicher. This particular rifle is a mismatch of a few rifles put together after the First World War. It has the A covering up the original Austro-Hungarian Eagle. It's one of my favourite rifles. Great piece of history. This is my Mauser model 2447 in 7.90 for 57. It's a Yugoslavian Mauser. Russian made, Tudor factory, SVT-40. This particular semi-auto rifle from the Second World War was made actually also in 1940. It's chambered in 7.62 for 54, rimmed. Now off to Germany with my 1941 made BYF marked, which is Mauser Obendorf factory. It's the K98 in 8x57 JS. This is the Indian Ishapur model 2A1 chambered in 7.62 for 51 NATO. Based on the Enfield design, a slightly strengthened receiver, and as you can see it's got a box shaped magazine for 10 rounds in 7.62 NATO. Going back to 1887 with this Mark IV Martini Henry in 577/450. This is my magazine Lee Enfield, known as the MLE or often known as the Longley, made in the Enfield factory in 1900. Its caliber is .303 British. This particular rifle saw service during the Boer War. This is my London Small Arms factory made Lee Enfield No. 1 Mark I 3 star. It also has the 1912 naval modification of the front sight straight protectors and the Charger bridge guide, which was, as I said, a later addition requested by the Navy. This is my LSA, once again London Small Arms made, No. 1 Mark III, made in 1915, complete with volley sights and cutoff in its original configuration 100%. This is an Enfield factory made 1917 No. 1 Mark III star. The star means that the cutoff and volley sights were removed. This is a modification that started in 1916. Lee Enfield No. 1 Mark III star deleted, made in 1918 by Birmingham Small Arms, BSA. I say No. 1 Mark III star deleted. Deleted means that after the First World War, for training purposes, the cutoff was reintroduced. So this was born without the cutoff was later added, and a line was put through the star. BSA made, so Birmingham Small Arms made, Wild Tiger Siamese contract rifle. These were made in 1920 for the King of Siam's personal bodyguard. Only 20,000 were made. Fairly rare. This particular rifle is in great condition and all original. No. 4 Mark I, Long Branch, so Canadian made, Lee Enfield, chambered as ever in .303 British. 1959 made, BSA L1A1, quite commonly known as the SLR, semi-auto, British issue, in 7.62 for 51 NATO. 1943, No. 2 Mark I, Enfield revolver, hammer spur removed for tank use, double action only, in caliber 38-200. So I'm just going to have a quick preview of my favourite rifles, and this is possibly my favourite. It's my 1900 magazine Lee Enfield, calibered in .303, known as the Longley. So obviously before the SMLE was introduced. No Charger bridge. It's got its cut-off. So 10 round magazine. It's got the South African markings on there. It's also got a South African mounted rifle. I mean, you're going to have to see it, but it's got a South African mounted rifle code on, or regimental code on the buttstock. It was made in, as I said, in 1900 at the Enfield factory. Everything's original. It's got its magazine, which was obviously never to be removed, only for cleaning purposes. So it was on it's still on its original chain. The rifle is in perfect condition. It's a great shooter. Volley sights here and cut off obviously on the other side. Here's the safety catch. Bring it over again. Okay, so cocks on closing. Very smooth action rifle. Absolute joy. Possibly my favourite rifle of all time. Another of my favourites is my Mark IV Martini Henry. I've always been a fan of the film Zulu, and even though this was a later edition, it's still a Martini Henry in 5.77 450, made in 1887 in the Enfield factory. It's got some Nepalese markings on it, so it's got a bit of history. So obviously after the British used it, it went over there. It's also got some Indian markings, so the Indians at some point used this before it was then sold out of service. It's a fantastic, fantastic piece of history. It's the long lever, which was the Mark IV. What can I say? It's just, I get emotional every time I hold this rifle. So another one of my favourites, it's the #1 Mark I 3-star. This was made by LSA, London Small Arms, in 1906. It's obviously the original #1 Mark I did not have the charger bridge, and it had rounded front sight protectors. So this has got a slight difference. It has a 1912 naval modification where they straightened the rear sight, the front sight protector, sorry, and added the charger bridge here. Apart from that, it is absolutely original. It's got its volley sights, it's got its cutoff, it's got the original correct magazine. You can tell from that time they had a little lip thing here. It shoots great. Bone insert front sight, or rear sight, sorry, slide, the rounded rear sight protectors, and so it's a difference between that and the #1 Mark III. So yes, this is the #1 Mark I 3-star 1906 LSA. Love this rifle. Last of my favourites is the 1959 BSA L1A1 or SLR, British Army issue. I've just always loved this rifle ever since I think I had the Action Man version. So obviously it's got its 20 round magazine. Actually, let's do a real quick field strip. So field strip, obviously it's 20 rounds of 7.62 NATO. So to field strip, obviously first thing you do is just check that it is completely empty. Okay, it's cocked. On the other side we have the lever that will open. We'll take off the cover, remove the bolt, and then you can carry on with general maintenance. It's got its gas plug setting here. This can be turned to be single shot, which is used for fire, using blanks to fire grenades. Semi-auto, I mean this was semi-auto, it was born semi-auto. The British used semi-auto right up until the 80s when they switched to the SA-80 and went full auto. Apart from that, this was also known as the right arm of the free world. I think about 80 countries adopted the one version or another of the SLR or the FAL, Fabrique Arms something. So anyway, that's how we put it back together. Empty. And this originally had, in 1959 it would have been born with the, it would have been made and supplied with the wooden stock and the wooden front protectors, and yet then it was later changed to the plastic version. I've always preferred the plastic. I think it just looks great. Thanks. This is one of my favorites. Thanks for watching this video. It wasn't a detailed video, but I just wanted to show off what I've got. They're my pride and joy. So basically once a month I get them out to give them a good clean up, and this time I thought I'd just quickly show them to you. So thanks a lot, and see you soon.